Shalom everybody, welcome back to Breslov.org. Insights in the Parsha of the week, Parsha to Yitro. The Parsha starts off, Vayishma Yitro. And Yitro heard. Rashi brings up immediately, the beginning of the Parsha. Rashi says, Ma Shmua Shama Uba. What did Yitro hear that brought him to come now to convert, right? Because until this point, he didn't yet convert. He didn't yet commit himself to the Jewish nation. Here in this week's Parsha, he's leaving his home country, his hometown in Midian, to go all the way to the desert in order to convert, to accept the Torah of the Jewish people. Amazing. Rashi says, what did he hear that pushed him to come? He says two things. Number one, he heard Kriyat Yam Suf. He heard about the splitting of the Red Sea. And the end of last week's Parsha, B'Shalach, he heard the war waged against Amalek, and that the Jewish people had the upper hand, and they almost totally destroyed Amalek. They left a little bit at the end because they had to. That was a divine decree, but they really won that battle against Amalek. So Yitro heard these two items, and that's what pushed him to come. There's a lot of depth in this. What's going on here? Yitro is the Rashi brings down. The Gemara says he had experienced and tasted every type of idol worship there was. He was so sunken into the 70 nations, into the evil of the 70 nations. And for someone to come to recognize Hashem is a big, like the Zohar says, that when Yitro came to convert, Hashem's name was glorified in all the worlds above and also down below in this world. Because when someone so far comes back and recognizes Hashem, it is the greatest glory of Hashem, the greatest Kiddush Hashem that someone so far can come back so low. So going back, Rashi points out there were two incidents which were the instigator for Yitro to make that final move to come and to convert. What were they? The splitting of the Red Sea and the war against Amalek. What's unique about these two events, the splitting of the Red Sea and the war against Amalek? The splitting of the Red Sea is what caused a total severing between the Jewish people and their connection to Egypt. With the splitting of the Red Sea, leaving Egypt totally, passing the other side of the Red Sea, and being totally saved from the Egyptians, this severed their connection to the influence, if you want to say, of the Egyptians. And now began the purification process, leading to Shavuot, the 50th day, when they received the Torah on Har Sinai. Milchemet Amalek, the same thing. Amalek being the representation of the 70 nations. That's Amalek. He's called Reshit Goyim Amalek. The head of the nations is Amalek. Head of which nations? The nations who are against the Jewish people. The United Nations who are against the Jewish people is Amalek. When the Jews battled and succeeded in overcoming Amalek, this was another stage of their severing their attachment to the evil of the impure nations. Now Yitro was still iffy. He was in between at this point. He had left already at the time that Moshe had married Tzipporah in Midian. He had already left his idol worship, but he wasn't yet a convinced, totally devoted follower of Hashem and the Torah, namely because the Jews were still in Egypt. But what was needed was as a total severing of the Jewish people to then bring in the holiness of Yitro to the Jewish side. So what's interesting is in this sense that Yitro was like iffy. He was yes and no. Should I stay or should I go? Something in between. He needed a push to bring him to the side of holiness, which is hearing the battle of with Amalek and the splitting of the Red Sea, causing the Jews to be totally separated. That's what brought Yitro to join. So in a sense, Yitro is like this level called the interface called Targum, the Aramaic language, which is half good, half bad. At the time, Yitro was still at the balance. He's called Yitro because Yeter, like Rashi points out, he came to add another Parsha on the Torah. It's thanks to him that we have an additional Parsha this week. In this week's Parsha, added thanks to him. That's why the Parsha is called Yitro after his name. But in this sense, Yitro is like the language of Aramaic. So amazing point and insight is Targum is the Gematria 649. Taf Resh Gimel Vav Mem 649. Yitro's name is Gematria 616. Do 649 minus 616 and 16, you get 33, gal, 33. And in this sense, Yitro needed a gal, which means a revelation, a gilui, in order to bring him to the side of holiness, to switch him, to bring him to be connected. And this, what was the revelation of the splitting of the Red Sea and the war against Amalek, is what really pushed Yitro to come from Midian, which was such an impure place, and to come to join the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom.